easy go.
Right guys, this is going to be my first video for the week, which this is going to be a guide for the Nightfall Will of the Thousand Zol, basically on how to get the 110k plus bonus threshold to get the aura and whatnot. Now I'm sorry for the recording, didn't record correctly, but I'd rather talk over it with commentary so that you can learn something from it rather than uploading with just meaningless conversation. So for the card, it's a 4.7 times, and we have Arc Singe, Extinguish, Match Game, and Iron. Those are the modifiers, and our power handicap was a 40. We only went that high so that we will get it like in our first or second go 110 easy, which we get well above there, which you'll see. If it is maybe find this difficult, you know, just put it down to a 30 handicap, a 20 handicap. You're still going to get the 110k no problem, because this is a really good Nightfall score. Nightfall basically. It's good for score is what I'm trying to say. So for the loadouts, we have Hitman, like I was showing you there. He had Raid and Flux on, Arc Strider, Darcy, and for Unknown Activity, he was also Arc Strider with Raid and Flux. Both of them bottom tree, which I advise putting on as your tank here. And for me, I was the support class, so I played Tether, Night Stalker with Orpheus Rig, top tree of course. So they were the more aggressive subclasses, but they did have Darcy on, so they're our DPS guys, where I was Night Stalker, so I can go in Vs and use more aggressive weapons. The EP shotgun would do well, Acreus would do well. I opted for Coil, just because it's good on nights, it's good on taking out a bunch of ads, so it's good for that. So yeah, it's double Arc Strider Night Stalker, that's the basics of it. You always want a Tether in these sort of score runs, as the Tether feeds supers for the other two. So this is less of a view on the Arc Striders, and it's more of how do you play the support class for your team. So as soon as you get off your Sparrow here, you want to obviously clear out all this because we're going for high score. You seen there, I got one shot. Basically, you want to watch with your teammates that they get off the Sparrow a bit earlier, because if the Sparrow's next to, like if the teammate Sparrow's next to you and the Sparrow gets blown up, it'll kill you basically. So we're going to have a couple of snipers to our left and right, and a couple of acolytes down below with a major knight or two take out. This is where you guys with Darcy can handle the snipers, whereas your Night Stalker can basically clean up the rest. Now you can have your Sparrow and spawn it just to make this little section a bit quicker, because you're kind of trying to do things quick as well, because you want to get to the boss with a good time so that you can farm the points off him, because beauty with Zol is there's a lot of ad spawns. So a lot of it's just team shooting. We're going to have our first night in this room, which is first platform. Also, it's to mention that there's 2 rotations on this Nightfall. If you were to come here and start, and there was a Shrieker to the back of the room, then you have the wizard rotation. If there's no Shrieker there, then that's good for you. You have the Ogre rotation, which you can get more points that way. So for those of you that are wanting to push the score higher and higher, you need to farm until you get an Ogre rotation. If you get the Wizard rotation, however, you can still get 110k on that. It's no problem to do that. So once you're kind of clearing out the Ogre at the back of the room, you can clear out the Thrall and the Acolytes. A lot of it's more team shooting, that's why a lot of us have scout rifles on for long range. So Mananan, it's always top tier for this stuff. If you have any raid weapons that are 400 light, then go ahead and put them on. once that's happened, we can take down the cylinder and then move on to the next room. So by this point, as you can see, I'm approaching to my super. My teammates will also have their super just about. So prepare them for the first room where you're going to need to coordinate your supers. That's the most important thing with score runs like these. Is coordinating your supers and keeping the chain of orbs and supers going. Okay, so once we get to this room, yes, there'll be 4 acolytes in a night, but you don't want to be popping supers just yet. It's far too early for that. Coil can be, if you are using it, sometimes it can be awkward when it's knocking the knights all over the spot. So, like I said, a shotgun, if you want to put an arc shotgun on for your Tether subclass, then do that. So for this first proper spawn, you want to try and tether around in this location, as you'll tether a whole bunch of ads, and then you can nade that and it'll just kill out most of it. I end up tethering it here again, as I know I'm going to get it back off the my teammates Axe Riders, because that's what their cue to start using their supers to clear out. So they're feeding off each other, like I said. With this room, most of your major knights, they're all going to spawn in the top half. As you see in the Axe Riders, easily takes out the majority of the room. And then you're good to go. Make sure you pick up all heavy, all teammates, and pick up all your orbs for those that need. Don't forget that. So the next room, you want to have your tether go first, and try and tether around about there. The goal is to try and kill the thrall as quick as you can, which the quicker you kill the thrall, the quicker you spawn the ogre up, and you end up tethering the ogre as well, which can help. Plus you'll have a shielded knight push you, which you can go into this door that I'm in here, but you can have your teammates blind him. The running bottom tree arc strider, they have the blind. Obviously I could have blinded them as well. I have my smoke to blind them also. Always try and blind key targets like that, especially the tanky ones, just so you can team shoot them down. This isn't, of course, our highest score or anything. This is mainly just a guide, but even this is still too high for. Like, you don't need to put it to the severity of 40 handicap. If you have a full legendary set of the new gear at 400, then you can put the handicap higher and higher and higher, because obviously, you're higher light, so you can afford to put more of a handicap on there, which is nice. So if you have 3 people with 400 power level, then you can put it on more steep if you want. So with this room, once a knight's going to die, basically the ogre will spawn up in mid. At this point, your teammates should have Axe Rider to deal with, as you've seen. The ogre's basically one shot off the Axe Rider supers, and you can clear out the full room that way. What I'm now doing is I'm searching for their orbs, as for the next room I want to tether that so that they get their supers back, and we're getting a lot of points, and it's easier that way, of course. I'm like 95% of my supers, so I was looking for just the one more orb, which there wasn't for me, so I just asked my teammates just to wait a second or two. I forgot to mention as well, we ran here 2 arc elementals and 1 solar, just for wizards. So once the Valkyrie's picked up, you go invis, tether right there, and then just retreat. If you are playing as a Night Stalker, retreat. Because you don't want to be tethering there. Just say, you don't get your tether back. Something. Um, if you die, you lose knobs. You don't want to be doing that. And it's even more important because Cyber Alpheus rigs on, but for the guys playing Arc Striders, obviously this isn't that point of view, but if you are, it's even more important for you to try not to die. As once you die, that's it, you've lost all those orbs that your Night Stalkers make them for you. So when we get to the boss, I mean we're what, 8.5 minutes, 9 minutes, so that's a half decent time. So we start losing score at 18 minutes, so we have a full 9 minutes to gain score on him. So we're more than enough, quick enough to get score. Plus, look at our score 158. So you could put the handicap way below what it needs to be. Okay, so if you come down to the back of these stairs and kind of the back of the map, Zol's attack can't really hit you from here. As long as you position yourself right, it'll just kind of miss you. You'll get tagged here and there. But what's happening right now is the two Arc Striders with Darcy on are just kind of hitting the boss as much as they can. We're just trying to take his health down to as much as possible. To be honest, like this is actually bad for score for those that are looking for like 250k plus 260, all that, because the more damage you do to the boss, you actually end up skipping adds, which means you lose out on score. But we already knew we had the 110k no problem, so at this point we're not really farming score. So seeing there the ad spawned in mid, so tether straight away and then have an Arc Strider. You want to be doing that for each rotation, because on each ad rotation, whether you've got ogres or wizards, there's a lot of ads that spawn, so having a tether and an Arc Strider to clear it all out just makes it so much easier. If you don't have those available to you, then you're going to end up wasting time, and if you do go above, the 18 minutes, and you'll start losing score at that point. So next wave of ads spawning, as always, tether straight away, have your Arc Strider do the rest. Valkyries are spawned up as well, so now you can start utilising them for boss damage and ad clearance also, which is nice. Now you notice here, we're just kind of leaving the boss alone, just to demonstrate that, after so long, he's just going to keep spawning in waves and waves and waves of ads. We could have had more waves than this, because obviously we're doing a lot of damage to him on the first damage phase. So it's like I say, it's just the basic strat of have your tether feeding the two Arc Striders, because the Arc Strider super for PvE for ad clear is probably the best in the game. There is others that are coming up there, but Arc Strider's still top tier. When the boss slivers down like that, it's best to get up high on top of a platform or something. As chances are he will get you if you're not in mid on top of a structure. Okay, so now the ads are switching in terms of where they're spawning. Now there, I think a coil. I think a thrall went into my coil and I ended up coiling myself. Also, Arc Singe is on, so be careful when if you do pick coil as your heavy. That's one thing about it. It's easy to kill yourself. But I got my tether off, so I'm still 80% to my super, so I can still keep going. best with this boss fight in general, just not to hang around in middle too much. Like right now, no one's really popping a super or anything. So we're kind of sitting back at the map, as you can see, playing it safe. You don't want to be pushing too far up because the boss can wreck you if he's up close. Plus you're handicapped. Chances are if you're doing a score run, so you want to be sitting back. Yeah, so he's going to do his sliver move again. So as you see, I'm just sitting on top of the platform. You can put, it's obviously opportunity as well to put damage into him. We just keep kind of farming here. I didn't realise how much we'd farmed. We could, like I said, we could have easily killed him well before now, but um, we wanted to get. We may as well have got the 200k while we're here. Plus, if he does get you one shot, just kind of back up from the map. Best not to try and risk anything, especially when you near the end of the fight. Okay, so now we're gonna have the ogre spawn, which is a crucial thing with score, as they give you a lot of points. So it's good to have a tether there on the go, with Axe Rider, of course, that they can just keep the chain. So we're still having more ads. He's kind of on the boss is on his final stand. We're not choosing to kill a boss just quite yet because there's a couple more ads to be killed. We're on 15 minutes, where the score's halved, so we can still gain score, but we actually can still lose score if we're not killing ads quick enough. But what the hell? Why not? Finish off the last waves, and then that's him killed. Like I say, I'm apologise for the recording. Just added, rather than being meaningless conversation, here, commentate over it. So for those that want to, maybe want to get us the aura and stuff, then that's a breakdown basically of each encounter within this Nightfall for score. Hope you enjoyed it anyways. Thank you.